On Saturday in Minneapolis, Alex Pretti was killed during an encounter with U.S. Border Patrol agents. Within hours, senior officials in President Donald Trump's administration described the incident using strong and dramatic language. They said Pretti attacked officers, brandished a weapon, and intended to carry out mass violence. But as video footage emerged and officials were questioned in interviews, a gap began to appear between what was claimed and what has been publicly shown so far. This video looks at those claims and what the available evidence actually shows. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was among the first to speak publicly. She told reporters that Pretti had attacked federal officers. FBI Director Kash Patel echoed similar language the following day, saying that people cannot attack law enforcement without consequences. However, as of Sunday afternoon, no publicly available video shows Pretti launching an attack in the way those statements suggested. Multiple videos from the scene show Pretti at the site of an immigration enforcement operation. In the footage, he appears to be directing traffic, warning agents not to push people into moving vehicles, and holding up a cell phone that appears to be recording. At one point, Pretti steps in front of an agent who had pushed a woman to the ground. He makes brief physical contact with the agent while intervening. After that moment, an agent deploys a chemical irritant, and Pretti is taken to the ground. Several officers surround him, and one appears to strike him repeatedly while he is on the ground. The video does show Pretti resisting while being restrained, but it does not show him striking officers or initiating violence beyond that brief contact. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Because this story is not about political talking points. It's about separating official claims from verified facts and understanding how narratives can shift in the hours after a deadly incident. When Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino later claimed that Pretti had assaulted officers, he was pressed in an interview to identify the specific moment in the footage that supported that claim. He did not point to any particular action. Language from administration officials also shifted over time. On Sunday, Secretary Noem used softer wording in interviews, saying Pretti was laying hands on law enforcement rather than repeating the earlier claim that he had attacked officers. Another key claim involved a firearm. On Saturday, Noem said Pretti was brandishing a gun. That statement drew immediate attention because video footage from the scene does not show Pretti holding a weapon at any point. In the videos, Pretti is seen holding a cell phone in one hand and nothing in the other. Moments before he was shot, footage appears to show a federal agent removing a concealed firearm from Pretti's waistband area while he was already on the ground. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara later said he had seen no evidence that Pretti ever brandished the weapon. Notably, when administration officials were asked directly on Sunday whether Pretti had brandished a gun, they declined to repeat the claim. Patel deferred to investigators. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche also avoided making a definitive statement, citing the ongoing investigation. Some officials went even further on Saturday, describing Pretti as an assassin and suggesting he intended to carry out a massacre of law enforcement officers. These claims were amplified on social media by senior figures, including reposts from the vice president's account. However, no evidence has been presented publicly to support the idea that Pretti planned to kill anyone. His family said he had been attending protests related to immigration enforcement actions earlier in the month. In interviews on Sunday, none of the officials repeated the most extreme allegations made the day before. Another point of controversy involved whether Pretti was legally carrying a firearm. Patel suggested that bringing a loaded firearm with magazines to a protest was illegal, but Minneapolis Police Chief O'Hara stated that Pretti had a valid permit to carry and was legally armed. Gun rights organizations in Minnesota also pushed back on Patel's claim, saying state law does not prohibit licensed individuals from carrying a firearm at a peaceful protest. There is currently no Minnesota or federal law that bans concealed carry at demonstrations for permit holders. Secretary Noem later claimed Pretti was carrying the gun without identification. Even if that were accurate, under Minnesota law, it would be considered a petty misdemeanor, punishable by a small fine, not a serious crime. As of now, investigations into the shooting remain ongoing. What is clear is that the public narrative changed as more information became available. Initial statements were strong and absolute. Initial statements were strong and absolute. Later remarks became more cautious, more conditional, and less specific. This case highlights how quickly official narratives can form, and how important it is to compare those narratives with verified evidence, especially when video exists. As more facts emerge, the focus will remain on what can be proven, not what was claimed in the immediate aftermath. If you want calm, fact-based breakdowns of major political and legal stories without shouting or speculation, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. These stories don't end with the first statement, and understanding what comes next matters.